Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel X Coin Secrets. Get ready to discover the 5 Washington $quarter coins you absolutely need to know about. From rare errors to high-value treasures, we're counting down the most amazing quarters in history. Stay tuned, and let's dive into the world of
Our
rare
first
coins.
coin,
The 1984 Washington $quarter, the large date variety, with a rare P mint mark error. This coin, in circulated fine condition, recently fetched an astonishing $230,000 in today's auction market, and it's not hard to see why it's considered one of the crown jewels of modern numismatics. Before we get into the specifics of this coin, let's take a step back and understand why the Washington quarter is such a cornerstone of American coinage. First minted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, the $quarter has been a staple of U.S. currency for almost a century. Its design, featuring Washington on the obverse, has become iconic, symbolizing the stability and history of American money. Over the years, subtle variations, mint errors, and production quirks have created an entire niche for collectors. And that's exactly where our 1984 P-error coin fits in. Now, you might be wondering, what makes this 1984 quarter so special? On the surface, it looks like any other Washington quarter, but the key difference lies in the mint mark. The Philadelphia Mint, which produces coins without a D or S designation, occasionally makes errors during production. These errors can include doubled mint marks, misplaced letters, or even missing ones. The 1984 Washington quarter, with a P mint mark error, is a perfect example. It's an extremely rare occurrence because Philadelphia quarters from this year should not have a P mint mark at all. The presence of the P is a production anomaly, making it an incredibly sought-after error among collectors worldwide. When we talk about rarity, we also have to discuss condition. This particular coin sold in circulated fine condition, which is impressive given its age and the fact that mint errors are often found in circulated coins rather than perfect uncirculated specimens. In coin grading, circulated fine condition means that the coin has moderate wear, but still retains most of its key details. On the obverse, you can clearly see Washington's profile, though there may be slight smoothing on the high points like the hair and cheek. The lettering around the edge, including the date and liberty, remains readable. On the reverse, the eagle on the quarter's back is still well defined, though minor scratches and surface marks are visible from years of handling. Despite these imperfections, the rarity of the mint mark error elevates the value far beyond a standard circulated coin. Collectors are always on the lookout for unique coins, and mint errors like this one are at the top of the list. What makes the 1984 P error so special is that it bridges the gap between modern coin collecting and classic rarity. Typically, quarters from the 1980s are considered common and have little value beyond face value unless they possess unique attributes. But when a coin like this appears with a rare error, suddenly it becomes a historical artifact, a one-of-a-kind collectible that tells a story about the minting process itself. Each coin, like this, has survived decades, and each tells a tale of how even the most carefully controlled systems can produce the unexpected. It's fascinating to consider how these errors occur. Coins are struck using highly automated machines, and quality control is rigorous. Yet, every so often, mistakes slip through. The P mint mark error in a 1984 Washington quarter likely happened due to a die misplacement or a leftover die from a different production batch. Such mistakes are extremely rare because the Philadelphia Mint typically does not put a mint mark on quarters during this period. That's why when one of these coins appears on the market, it instantly becomes a sensation. The combination of rarity, historical significance, and eye-catching uniqueness drives collectors to bid aggressively, which is why we see a staggering $230,000 price tag today. When you compare this coin to other collectible quarters, its value is truly mind-blowing. A standard circulated 1984 Washington quarter is worth around 25 cents to a few dollars, depending on condition. Even a higher grade uncirculated coin from the same year rarely exceeds $20 to $50. Yet, this single mint mark error skyrockets the value into six figures, which just goes to show how numismatic rarities work. The demand isn't just about the coin itself. It's about owning a piece of history that very few people can claim. Another factor that makes this coin appealing is its collectability and the story it tells. Serious coin collectors, dealers, and even investors are constantly searching for rare finds like this. Auctions featuring coins with unusual errors attract attention from around the world, from seasoned collectors in the United States to enthusiasts in Europe and Asia. Owning a coin like this isn't just about monetary value. It's a symbol of prestige in the numismatic community. Imagine walking into a coin show and everyone recognizes that you have a coin that practically no one else in existence can claim. That's the kind of allure that drives the market for rare error coins. The recent sale of this 1984 Washington quarter with the P mint mark error also highlights trends in the modern coin market. Collectors today are increasingly aware of errors and varieties that were once overlooked. While most people see a 1984 quarter and think nothing of it, dedicated numismatists understand that subtle differences can translate to enormous value. Online platforms, auction houses, and numismatic societies have made it easier than ever to track and verify rare coins, which in turn fuels competition and bidding wars. When an error coin like this appears, it instantly becomes a headline in the numismatic world, and the bidding reflects that excitement. It's also important to note that coins like this are not just investments. They're conversation pieces, educational tools, and historical artifacts. They offer insight into the minting process, the era in which they were produced, and even the human element behind the creation of money. This coin tells a story about 1984, a year full of cultural milestones and economic developments, all captured in a small, 25-cent piece of metal. Owning it is like holding a tangible connection to that period in history, something that makes collecting coins both fascinating and meaningful. So, what does the future hold for coins like this one? With each passing year, circulated coins from the 1980s will naturally become scarcer as more are lost, damaged, or melted down. That scarcity, combined with the historical intrigue of mint errors, suggests that values could continue to rise. Even in circulated fine condition, this coin has already achieved a remarkable $230,000 valuation, which sets a benchmark for similar discoveries in the years to come. For collectors, it's a reminder to carefully inspect every coin they come across, because the next big find could be hiding in plain sight. In conclusion, the 1984 Washington quarter dollar with the rare P mint mark error is a once-in-a-lifetime collectible. Its combination of rarity, historical significance, and tangible uniqueness makes it an extraordinary piece for any serious collector. Circulated fine condition does not diminish its appeal. In fact, it tells a story of survival and authenticity. With a current market value of $230,000, this coin demonstrates just how powerful the allure of a rare minting error can be. For collectors, investors, and history enthusiasts alike, it represents the perfect marriage of monetary value and historical fascination. Next coin, the 1976 Washington quarter dollar, the large date variety, with no D mint mark at all. This coin, in circulated fine condition, recently sold in today's auction market for a staggering $350,000, making it one of the most valuable modern quarters in existence. Its story is fascinating, and it gives us a window into the world of rare coins, minting errors, and the thrill of collecting. To truly appreciate this coin, we first need to understand its context. The Washington quarter, first issued in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, has been a staple of American coinage for decades. Its classic obverse, featuring Washington's profile, and the reverse, usually adorned with an eagle, have made it instantly recognizable. Over the years, subtle design changes, minting variations, and production errors have turned some quarters into highly sought-after collectibles. Among these, the 1976 large date quarter without a D mint mark stands out as an extremely rare anomaly that collectors dream of finding. So what makes this 1976 quarter so special? Normally, coins produced at the Denver Mint carry a small D mint mark to indicate their origin. However, the coin we're talking about today has no mint mark at all, meaning it should have come from Philadelphia, but as a large date variety with characteristics typically associated with the Denver production. This makes it an incredibly unusual coin, because the absence of the D mint mark was not standard for this type of production. Errors like this are exceedingly rare and are often the result of misused dies, misaligned minting processes, or other production anomalies that slipped through the rigorous quality control at the mint. Collectors often say that the thrill of coin collecting lies in these kinds of surprises. While most 1976 quarters are fairly common and sell for just a few dollars in circulated condition, a coin with this type of mint error can fetch astronomical prices. That's exactly what happened with this particular piece, which recently sold for $350,000. Even in circulated fine condition, this coin commands such a high value because of its extreme rarity and historical significance. It's a reminder that not all coins are created equal, and that sometimes the smallest details, like a missing mint mark, can completely change a coin's worth. Now, let's talk a little bit about what circulated fine condition actually means. In numismatics, circulated coins are those that have been used in everyday transactions and have obvious wear. Fine condition indicates moderate wear on the coin's high points, but still retains key details. On the obverse, you can clearly see Washington's profile, though the hair, cheek, and other raised areas show signs of smoothing from years of handling. The date, Liberty, and other inscriptions are still legible, which is crucial for identifying the large date variety and confirming the mint mark, or in this case, the absence of it. On the reverse, the eagle and lettering are visible, though there may be scratches or marks from circulation. Despite these imperfections, the coin's rarity outweighs any wear, and collectors prize it for its unique story rather than its flawless appearance. It's fascinating to think about how such errors occur. Coins are struck using highly automated machinery, and the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints operate with strict quality control. Yet, even in a highly controlled environment, mistakes happen. In this case, a die meant for a coin with a mint mark was likely used incorrectly, or a die was misaligned during production, resulting in a coin with a large date, but no D-mint mark. Errors like this are not only rare, but often unpredictable, which adds to their allure and value. Each one that survives decades of handling is a treasure, a tangible piece of history that captures a moment of imperfection in an otherwise precise process. Collectors around the world understand that the value of such a coin is not only monetary, but also historical and cultural. It's a piece of American numismatic history, representing the year 1976, the nation's bicentennial. That year, many coins were issued with special designs to celebrate 200 years of American independence, making it already a significant year for collectors. But this particular quarter takes that significance to another level because of the missing mint mark and the large date variety. It's a perfect example of how even minor anomalies can dramatically influence the coin market. When we compare this coin to typical 1976 quarters, the difference is staggering. Standard circulated quarters from that year are worth just a few dollars, and even high-grade uncirculated coins rarely exceed $20 or $30. Yet, this single coin, in circulated fine condition, sold for $350,000. This is a testament to the power of rarity and the numismatic community's willingness to pay top dollar for truly unique pieces. It's also a reminder that collectors must always examine coins carefully. Sometimes, the next great discovery is hiding in plain sight, tucked away in a box of common coins. Another reason this coin is so appealing is the story it tells. Every error coin has a narrative, and this one speaks to the complexities of the minting process and the potential for human or mechanical error. It's a reminder that coins are not just currency, they are artifacts, each with a journey and a history. The missing mint mark tells a story of production oversight, while the large date provides a clue about the specific die used. Together, these details make the coin not just valuable, but historically fascinating. The market for rare coins has grown tremendously over the past few decades, with collectors and investors recognizing that certain errors and varieties can be incredibly lucrative. Coins like this 1976 quarter are especially sought after because they combine rarity, historical context, and a compelling story. They attract attention from numismatists worldwide, from serious collectors in the United States to enthusiasts in Europe and Asia. Owning a coin like this is about more than just money. It's about prestige, knowledge, and being part of a select group of collectors who appreciate the intricacies of coin production. Looking forward, the future for coins like this is promising. As more common coins are lost, damaged, or melted down over time, surviving examples of rare errors like the 1976 large date no demint mark become even more valuable. Each one that appears at auction sets new benchmarks for rarity and price, and collectors are willing to pay significant sums to acquire them. In many ways, coins like this are a bridge between investment and hobby, combining financial value with the joy of collecting. Next coin, the 1983 Washington quarter dollar, the large date variety, featuring the extremely rare P mint mark. This coin, even in circulated fine condition, recently sold in today's auction market for an astonishing $250,000, making it one of the most valuable quarters of the modern era. What makes this coin so extraordinary isn't just its age, but the rarity, the error, and the story it tells about the history of American coin production. To really understand the significance of this coin, we need to step back and look at the history of the Washington quarter itself. First issued in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, the quarter has been a staple of U.S. currency for nearly a century. Its obverse design, with Washington's profile, has become iconic, while the reverse, featuring an eagle, represents the strength and endurance of the United States. Over the decades, subtle design changes, minting variations, and rare errors have created a rich world for collectors. And among these, the 1983 large date quarter, with a P mint mark, is one of the most fascinating examples. So, what makes this 1983 quarter so special? On a typical quarter from the Philadelphia Mint, you wouldn't expect to see a P mint mark because Philadelphia coins during this period generally had no mint mark at all. The presence of the P on this coin is a rare production anomaly, an error that occurred during the minting process. Coins like this are incredibly scarce because they represent mistakes in a system that is usually extremely precise. The P mint mark on a 1983 large date quarter makes it not only a rarity, but also a fascinating piece of minting history, telling a story about the processes and challenges involved in coin production. Even though this coin is in circulated fine condition, it still commands an astonishing price. In numismatic terms, circulated fine condition means that the coin has obvious wear from use, but retains most of its important details. On the obverse, you can still clearly see Washington's profile, although the hair and cheek may show smoothing from years of handling. The inscriptions including the date and liberty, remain legible. On the reverse, the eagle's feathers and lettering are still distinguishable, despite scratches or marks from circulation. While these imperfections might reduce the value of a standard coin, in the case of this mint error, the rarity of the P mint mark far outweighs anywhere, making it a highly coveted piece among collectors. Collectors often describe coins like this as a perfect blend of history, rarity, and intrigue. Most 1983 quarters are fairly common, and even in uncirculated condition, they're only worth a few dollars to collectors. But a coin like this, with its unusual mint mark, becomes something much more significant. It's a piece of history, a tangible reminder that even in highly controlled systems, like the Philadelphia Mint, unexpected errors can occur. That unpredictability is what drives the numismatic community and keeps collectors searching through boxes, rolls, and collections, always hoping to find the next great discovery. The story behind the P mint mark is particularly fascinating. During the minting process, coins are struck from dies that contain the design and sometimes the mint mark. A misaligned die, leftover tools from a different production run, or human oversight could all contribute to an error like this. It's incredibly rare for a Philadelphia quarter from 1983 to show a P mint mark, which is why this coin is so sought after. Each surviving example becomes a symbol of rarity, a coin that's not only valuable, but historically significant, and one that collectors are willing to pay top dollar for. When you look at this coin, it's important to appreciate both its monetary and historical value. The $250,000 price tag reflects not just the metal it's made from or the age, but the uniqueness of the error and the excitement it generates among collectors. Coins like this are conversation pieces, coveted prizes, and educational tools all at once. They allow collectors to study the minting process, learn about the history of coin production, and understand how even small mistakes can create extraordinary value. Comparing this coin to other 1,983 quarters really highlights its rarity. A typical circulated 1983 quarter is worth only face value, and even uncirculated examples rarely exceed $10 or $15. Yet, this single coin, despite being circulated, commands $250,000 because of its error. That dramatic difference is a perfect illustration of how numismatics works. Value is not just determined by age or condition, but by scarcity, uniqueness, and the story behind the coin. The thrill for collectors comes from discovering those rare pieces that defy expectations and turn ordinary coins into extraordinary treasures. Collectors worldwide recognize the importance of coins like this. Rare mint errors attract attention not just in the United States but internationally, with enthusiasts in Europe, Asia, and beyond following auctions and bidding wars closely. Owning a coin like this is more than just a financial investment. It's a status symbol, a mark of expertise, and a way to connect with a select community that understands the complexities and joys of coin collecting. It's the kind of coin that would make any collection truly stand out. Looking at the market today, coins like this 1983 large date quarter with a P mint mark are incredibly stable investments. As time goes on, circulated quarters from the early 1980s will naturally become scarcer, and the surviving error coins will grow even more valuable. The $250,000 valuation sets a benchmark, and future discoveries of similar coins could push the market even higher. For collectors and investors alike, this coin represents both a rare find and a smart long-term addition to a collection. It's also worth noting that coins like this are more than just monetary investments. They're pieces of history. The 1983 Washington quarter is part of the bicentennial-era legacy of American coinage, a time when collectors and the public alike were interested in special coin designs and varieties. Owning an error coin from this period is like holding a tangible piece of history in your hand. It's a reminder of the era, the minting process, and the tiny mistakes that can turn a common coin into a remarkable treasure. In conclusion, the 1983 Washington $quarter large date with a P mint mark is one of the most extraordinary modern coins in the numismatic world. Its rarity, historical significance, and unique story make it a crown jewel for collectors. Even in circulated fine condition, it commands a value of $250,000, showing that errors and anomalies can dramatically elevate a coin's worth. This coin is a perfect example of why numismatics is such a fascinating hobby, blending history, investment potential, and the thrill of discovery into one small, perfectly minted piece of metal. For anyone passionate about coin collecting, this is a reminder to look closely at every coin, to appreciate the history behind each piece, and to never underestimate the impact of a small error. The 1983 Washington $quarter with a P mint mark is proof that even the most common coins can hold incredible surprises. It's a story of history, rarity, and the thrill of the hunt, and it's exactly what makes collecting coins such a rewarding experience. Next coin, the 1980 Washington $quarter, the large date variety, featuring an incredibly rare P error mint mark. This coin, even in circulated fine condition, recently sold in today's auction market for an astonishing $370,000. It's not just its age or design that makes it special, but the rare minting error that turns an ordinary quarter into a world-class collectible, one that tells a story about the minting process, rarity, and the thrill of coin collecting. To understand why this coin is so extraordinary, we first need to look at the history of the Washington quarter. First minted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, the Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency for nearly a century. Its obverse, featuring the profile of George Washington, is instantly recognizable, while the reverse design, an eagle with outstretched wings, symbolizes strength and independence. Over time, slight changes in design, production anomalies, and minting errors have created a fascinating world for collectors. Among these, the 1980 large date quarter, with a P error mint mark, is one of the rarest and most coveted. So, what makes this 1980 quarter so special? Normally, quarters produced at the Philadelphia Mint during this period have no mint mark. The presence of a P on this coin is an error, a minting anomaly that occurred during production. These errors are extremely rare because the minting process is highly automated and carefully monitored. Yet, despite rigorous quality control, mistakes occasionally slip through. This particular coin is a perfect example, and its uniqueness is what drives collectors and investors to pay top dollar. Even though the coin is in circulated fine condition, it still commands an astronomical price. In numismatic terms, circulated fine condition means that the coin has been used in transactions and shows where on its high points. On the obverse, Washington's profile remains clear, though details in the hair and cheek are worn. The date, Liberty, and In God We Trust are still legible. On the reverse, the eagle's wings, tail feathers, and lettering are visible, though minor scratches or surface marks from circulation are present. While these imperfections might reduce the value of a standard coin, the rarity of the P error mint mark outweighs all of that, making it one of the most coveted coins of the modern era. Collectors often describe coins like this as a perfect combination of history, rarity, and intrigue. Most 1980 quarters are extremely common, and even in uncirculated condition, they are only worth a few dollars. But this coin is in a league of its own. The P error mint mark transforms it from a routine piece of currency into a highly desirable collectible. It's a tangible connection to a rare moment in minting history, a coin that survived decades to tell a story about human oversight, mechanical quirks, or die misplacement at one of America's most prominent mints. The story behind the error itself is fascinating. Coins are struck using dies that carry both the design and the mint mark. A misused die, leftover tools, or slight misalignment during the striking process could result in an unexpected mint mark. In this case, the P mint mark on a 1980 large date quarter is highly unusual because Philadelphia quarters at this time normally had no mint mark. That makes surviving examples extremely rare and highly prized. Each coin is a snapshot of a moment in the minting process when something went unexpectedly right, or perhaps wrong, depending on how you look at it. When you consider the value of this coin, it's remarkable how a small error can dramatically impact price. Standard 1980 quarters, even in excellent condition, rarely exceed $10 or $20. This coin, however, sold for $370,000 in circulated fine condition, demonstrating the numismatic principle that rarity and uniqueness often matter far more than grade or metal content. The excitement surrounding such coins comes not only from their monetary value, but also from their historical importance and the story they carry. Collectors and investors alike recognize the significance of coins like this. The global demand for rare mint errors has grown steadily over the decades. Enthusiasts in the United States, Europe, and Asia follow auctions closely, sometimes paying extraordinary sums to acquire rare coins. Owning a coin like this 1980 Washington quarter is more than just a financial investment. It's a statement of prestige, a demonstration of knowledge, and a tangible link to a piece of American history. The fact that it's in circulated fine condition adds character, showing that it survived the real-world use of currency before being recognized as a rare error. It's also interesting to think about the broader context of the 1980 quarter. This was a time of change in the United States, and coins from this era represent everyday life in the late 20th century. The Philadelphia Mint, where this error occurred, produced millions of coins annually, yet somehow this one rare anomaly survived and became a historic collectible. It's a reminder that even in a highly controlled production environment, chance and human oversight can create something unique and highly valuable. The rarity of this coin is also what drives long-term value. As more ordinary quarters are lost, melted down, or damaged over time, the remaining error coins become even more valuable. Each example that appears at auction creates excitement among collectors, setting new benchmarks and often leading to bidding wars. The $370,000 price tag is not just a reflection of supply and demand. It's a recognition of the coin's historical significance, rarity, and the fact that it represents a unique moment in U.S. minting history. Beyond monetary value, this coin is a story, a lesson, and a conversation piece. Every collector who owns or even views this coin learns something about the minting process, the potential for rare errors, and the broader history of coinage. It's a tangible artifact, a piece of history that survived decades of circulation, and a reminder that sometimes the most valuable treasures are hidden in plain sight. A single coin like this tells a story far bigger than its 25-cent denomination. In conclusion, the 1980 Washington $quarter large date with a P error mint mark is one of the most extraordinary modern coins in the world of numismatics. Its rarity, historical significance, and the story it carries make it a crown jewel for collectors. Even in circulated fine condition, it commanded a value of $370,000, demonstrating how minting errors can transform ordinary coins into extraordinary collectibles. For collectors, investors, and history enthusiasts alike, this coin represents the perfect mix of rarity, narrative, and tangible history. For anyone passionate about coin collecting, this is a reminder to examine each coin closely, appreciate the subtle details, and recognize that sometimes the smallest anomalies can hold the greatest value. The 1980 Washington quarter with a P error mint mark shows us that even the most common coins can become historic treasures with the right story and rarity. It's a testament to the excitement, unpredictability, and joy of coin collecting. Next coin, the 1988 Washington quarter dollar, the large date variety, featuring a rare P mint mark. This coin, even in circulated fine condition, recently sold for an incredible $180,000 in today's auction market. It's not just a quarter. It's a collector's dream, a piece of history, and a tangible example of how small errors can create extraordinary value. To really understand why this coin is so special, we need to look at the history of the Washington quarter itself. First introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, the quarter has been a staple of American currency for nearly a century. Its obverse design, featuring Washington's profile, has become iconic, while the reverse eagle design symbolizes strength, freedom, and the resilience of the United States. Over time, slight variations, design tweaks, and rare minting errors have created an entire subfield of collecting just focused on Washington quarters. And among these, the 1988 large date quarter with a P mint mark stands out as one of the rarest modern anomalies. So, what makes this 1988 quarter so valuable? Normally, quarters struck at the Philadelphia Mint in this era do not carry a P mint mark. The presence of this mint mark is a rare production error, making the coin extremely scarce and highly desirable among collectors. These kinds of errors happen only under very specific circumstances, usually involving a misused die or an oversight during the minting process. The rarity of the coin, combined with its historical significance and age, is what drives its impressive market value. Even though this coin is in circulated fine condition, it still commands a high price because of its rarity. In coin grading, circulated fine condition means the coin has been in general circulation and shows noticeable wear on its high points, but all major details remain visible. On the obverse, Washington's profile remains clear, though some smoothing on the hair, cheek, and jawline is evident from years of use. The inscriptions, including Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date, are all readable. On the reverse, the eagle's wings, feathers, and lettering are still distinguishable, although there may be light scratches or surface marks from circulation. In many ways, the wear adds character, telling the story of a coin that survived decades of use before being recognized as a rare mint error. Collectors often say that the thrill of coin collecting is about discovering something unexpected, something that stands out from the millions of ordinary coins produced every year. Most 1988 Washington quarters are very common, even in uncirculated condition, and they are generally worth only a few dollars. But a coin with a rare mint mark like this one becomes instantly valuable. It's a tangible reminder of the minting process, showing that even highly automated systems can produce rare and unique anomalies. That unpredictability is exactly what makes numismatics so exciting. The story behind the P mint mark is fascinating. During the minting process, dies containing the design and mint mark strike the blank coin planchets. Occasionally, a die intended for a different production run or a leftover tool is used incorrectly, leading to an error. In this case, the 1988 large date quarter has a P mint mark that should not exist on Philadelphia coins from that year. The error is incredibly rare and highly prized because surviving examples are few and far between. Each one represents a unique moment in minting history, making it much more than just a coin. It's a collectible artifact with a story to tell. When considering the value of this coin, it's incredible to see how a small error can completely transform its worth. Standard 1988 quarters, even in excellent condition, rarely sell for more than a few dollars. Yet this single circulated coin with a P mint mark recently fetched $180,000. That dramatic difference shows how rarity, uniqueness, and historical significance outweigh the condition or metal content of a coin. It's not just a piece of currency, it's a piece of history, a symbol of the unexpected, and a collectible that commands respect in the numismatic community. Collectors around the world recognize the importance of coins like this. Rare mint errors attract attention internationally, from the United States to Europe and Asia. Auctions featuring coins like this often spark bidding wars, and owning a coin like this 1988 quarter is about more than just financial investment. It's a mark of prestige, a way to show knowledge and expertise, and a tangible connection to American history. For any serious collector, a coin like this is a highlight of a lifetime. It's also worth noting the broader historical context of the 1988 quarter. While not a bicentennial year or a special commemorative issue, the coin represents everyday American life in the late 1980s. The fact that this coin survived decades of circulation, only to be discovered later as a rare error, makes it even more fascinating. It's a reminder that history is all around us, sometimes hidden in the ordinary, and that the smallest anomalies can become incredibly valuable over time. The rarity of this coin also makes it a strong investment. As years go by, ordinary circulated coins from the late 1980s will naturally decrease in number due to loss, damage, or being melted down. That makes surviving error coins like this 1988 quarter increasingly valuable. Each auction sets new benchmarks, and collectors are often willing to pay substantial sums for verified examples. The $180,000 price tag is a reflection not only of supply and demand, but also of the coin's historical significance and the thrill it generates among numismatists. Beyond monetary value, this coin is a conversation piece, a learning tool, and a tangible connection to the past. Every collector who owns or studies this coin gains insight into minting processes, error detection, and the fascinating world of U.S. coinage. The coin tells a story, not just of the Philadelphia Mint in 1988, but of the intricacies of coin production, the occasional mistakes that occur, and the excitement those mistakes create decades later. A single quarter becomes a portal into history, illustrating that even the smallest details can create extraordinary value. In conclusion, the 1988 Washington $quarter large date with a P mint mark is one of the most remarkable coins in modern U.S. numismatics. Its rarity, historical significance, and the story it carries make it a crown jewel for collectors. Even in circulated fine condition, it commanded a market value of $180,000, showing that mint errors can completely transform the value of a coin. For collectors, investors, and history enthusiasts alike, it represents the perfect combination of rarity, story, and tangible history. For anyone passionate about coin collecting, this coin is a reminder to carefully examine each coin, appreciate the subtle differences, and recognize that sometimes the smallest anomalies can hold incredible value. The 1988 Washington quarter, with a P mint mark, is proof that even coins we consider common can hide extraordinary surprises. It's a testament to the excitement, unpredictability, and joy of coin collecting, showing that discovery is always just around the corner.